Hello teacher, my name is Abigail Salinas and today I will be showing you how to make salted caramel butter bars, a quick and easy recipe. So first off, we have to list all of the ingredients. You will see here that there are two different lists for the ingredients. For the crust, we must have 2 cups of salted butter at room temperature, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, so it's 2 types of sugar. However, I couldn't find granulated sugar, so I just used regular sugar for this recipe. Then we also need 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract and 4 cups of flour. That is for the crust. It's going to turn out sort of like a cookie. For the filling, we need 50 individual soft caramel candies. They are, you will see the picture soon. It's from the brand Kraft. They sell little caramel candies by the pack, and I bought 2 packs and that was more than enough for this recipe. We also will need 1/3 of a cup of milk or cream. I used milk, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. Optional is 1 tablespoon of sea salt to add to the caramel. I did add it. This is optional, and I will show you later on exactly how it was that I added it. So now you can see all of the ingredients that I used. That is the brand of caramels from Kraft. I bought it at Riva Smith, but also supermarket El Rey sells it as well. I saw that the other day. So first we start by putting the 4 bars of butter into a pan, and we add the sugar. You can see we are adding 2 cups of sugar. Since, like I said, I didn't have granulated sugar, I just used regular sugar. After that, we start mixing what we do have, which is the sticks of butter and the sugar. In a bowl, I have flour, and I will slowly start to add the flour to the mix of the butter and the sugar. The recipe says 2 cups of salted butter and 2 cups is 4 sticks of butter. That's why we had 4 sticks of butter. Then, as you can see, we are slowly adding the flour to the mix. My mom is the one that's helping me using the mixing machine, and I'm just adding the flour. So as you can see, it takes a while because it is 4 cups of flour, and this makes a lot of batter. So for the next time I make this recipe, and if it's just for 2 people, 3 people, I would recommend cutting down this recipe by half. So just using 2 sticks of butter, 2 cups of flour, I think would be better because this makes a lot of dough. And the pan I used was actually smaller. For the amount of dough that was made, it was small, so the bars came out pretty thick. So for next time, I will be cutting down the recipe by half, just so we don't have too much dough, because then I wouldn't know what to do with all of the dough. So we are almost finished with adding all of the flour to the batter, sort of batter, it's not liquidy. Afterwards, we must add the 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. So that's what I'm doing right now. Everything is already pretty much mixed. After this, we are going to take 1/3 of the dough and putting it in the pan. There you can see we're trying to make it as compressed as possible, trying to make it in a square shape. The rest of the dough, we have to put it in a plastic wrap and put it into the refrigerator so it can chill, because we will be using it later. We put it in the oven for 20 minutes, the pan, so it can bake. After that, we let it cool completely, And while it's cooling, we start with the 50 caramel candies that you can see. We melt it in a microwave for about a minute and we stir. I added the milk, the 1/3 cup of milk, and the 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And there it is. I would melt it for 30 seconds, then take it out, mix it, put it back in, 30 seconds again. And it took about a minute to get it like this. Afterwards, there you can see the first batter that we did. It's already cool. And we're gonna pour over the melted caramel that we have. We're gonna pour it over. I tried to pour it evenly. Tried to spread it out as evenly as I could. And the caramel, you can see it's just completely melted, very liquidy, very easy to distribute. Afterwards, the sea salt is optional. I chose to put sea salt because the salt balances the sweetness of the caramel and it tastes very good. And this is the dough that was the rest of the dough that we put into the refrigerator so it could chill. We took it out and we start to crumble it on top of the caramel. So we're kind of making the top coat of this dessert. It's going to be like having cookies on top of the caramel. Like I said at the beginning, it made this amount of flour, the 4 cups of flour and the 4 sticks of butter, made a lot of dough. So all of this that I'm putting on top of the caramel right now, I still have some left over in the fridge. This is why I said I think it was too much for the size of the pan that I used. So this is the dessert before we put it back into the oven for another 20 minutes or until it's golden and brown. That's inside of the oven. It is ready. We have to take it out and let it cool completely before we cut it. That's the finished product, and here is the slice. It's a lot of caramel, so if you like caramel, you will enjoy this dessert.